that after I knew the truth about what was going on in the world, I felt I would be a complete hypocrite not to do something about it, not to get involved. And I mean, UNHCR as an organization, it works to improve the lives of somewhere over 20 million refugees the world over, with medical attention, sanitation, food, resettlement, asylum. They are to be applauded for all the hard work they do to make the world a better place. When I got started on this, I, on the other hand, was about pretty much anything but the main issues. I was really more concerned with what was going on in the individuals' hearts than their individual situations. As I began to learn about situations in Lebanon, Afghanistan, Sudan, Darfur, and so on, all I could think of is what must be going on inside their hearts as opposed to exactly what their situation in their countries is. I myself I have worked with youth my entire life in some form or another, and it really broke my heart to know of the atrocities that these children were living in. What mattered to me is the war. I mean, the war and the constant struggle in their countries, pretty much, it meant a lot, but I was more concerned with their pain and the loss that they felt, the hurt that they must be feeling, and that was really my constant driving force through these years. The fact that innocence was being lost and so many people knew nothing about it. And to top it off, many of those who knew about it were doing nothing to alleviate the situation. I made a comment a few years ago that has pretty much come to define me in the way I look at everything, and it was done in one of my interviews. And I said that people nowadays are halfway involved with everything. And I didn't realize it when I said it, but it's just as true now as it was a few years ago. And if I'm going to be known for a quote or statement, I'm glad that it's a statement based on truth. I mean, we watch the specials on television about Darfur and the refugee crisis whenever MSNBC or CNN run specials, and yeah, it affects us and it pulls at our heart. But then, I mean, then what? We write a check and we forget about the people, not really realizing that this isn't a television show that's going to improve when we change the channel. For many of them, this is life. There's millions of individuals that are orphaned, sleeping in camps with no family and no home, no sense of belonging. Children are being raped. Women are entering the sex business to provide for their children. People are facing persecution every day. And a check, while it might provide a temporary fix, it's not going to fix the main problem. It isn't really one of those easy fix situations where everything's going to get better. This is all that many of these people know. And a check, well appreciated, I'm sure is not going to fix it. So often what we do is we close our eyes to truth and convince ourselves that everything's going to get better. And in many places it hasn't gotten better. Sudan and Darfur are still suffering. The situation of refugees in Iraq and Afghanistan and numerous Asian nations has improved, but not to the point that we would like for it to happen. I believe the theme for this year's World Refugee Day was a new home, a new life, if I'm correct. Okay. I've heard incredible success stories about people being given that hope, but I feel that it should not rest solely on non-governmental organizations and UNHCR to help fix the refugee crisis of the world. We need to be pulled together to help our families in other countries. We need to take everything that we've pushed aside and kind of bring it to the forefront and face it head on. We should no longer allow ourselves to be blinded of the truth. There's people suffering, and many people in the world are waiting for that new home and that new life to become a reality. We need to become involved, and writing a check, we need to do more than that. We need to jump in and find a cause that we believe and fight for what we believe. Because separately, there's only so much we can do, but if we gather together, we have the opportunity to make a change. Everyone involved in Voices United for UNHCR came into this with the same thing in mind. If we can help only one person, that's fine. We will have achieved our purpose. If one more person can eat or get sanitary drinking water or be safe for another night, my goal has been accomplished. And while we, the artists, may never see any long-term outcomes of this project, and we've discussed this and agree that getting praise for our involvement is not what we were here to do. We're here to save lives and to open up hearts and to basically make a change in other people's hearts. Our purpose is not and has never been really to make a name for ourselves. And that's what I think is the great thing.